Hey guys, good morning. We're still seeing this rotation continue. Obviously, the financials aren't going to be very strong coming into earnings, so this could just be a little bit of hot money chasing hot money, and might not last too long. The QQQs are pulling, the triple Qs are pulling back, but once again, those are the fundamentally strong areas. They just ran too far, too fast. Nothing to be alarmed about. Trying to see where the miners are going to pull back to. I think we at least have to get into this layer of consolidation. We had a false breakout to the upside on the multi-year channel. We're pulling back, breaking through the 20-day moving average, which is the first time we've done that in quite a while, actually. We've held it since April. So that area has been a safe haven for market concerns, especially when the financials are weak. Now the financials are strong, and you are seeing gold start to pull back, which is kind of against what a lot of the experts are saying is a great hedge. It probably could get back down into the at least the 43.26 area. That's where I have an alarm at today, and I want to look at it to see if this is just a short-term phenomenon or whether this is the beginning of a move towards the 50-day moving average on GDXJ, which would leave JNUG into the 80s very vulnerable. We like to play that intraday for reversals, but we are seeing a MACD cross here with some angle to the trajectory. We've usually had a subtle crossover when we're doing a correction before we can power up and move higher. This angle is a little bit sharper than I'd like to see, and we're seeing some of the relative strength come out. We're probably going to have to go a little bit lower here on the relative strength before we see some type of a bounce. Pulling through the 20-day moving average, seeing the rotation. A lot of stuff is stacked against gold here, so let's not get our faces ripped off trying to come in JNUG too early, especially with that MACD crossover and the break of the 20 for the first time in a while, right? We've put a few tails through there, but we haven't had a clean break, and now we're starting to get some separation, especially being at 43.50 in pre-market. So we're going to get into this layer, and then we can start to curl and then play our rebound on JNUG. I think we might be a day early here, so let's hold off on that. QQQ. There's going to be certain stocks in the Qs that there's going to be certain stocks in the Qs. Sorry, I get my business with emailing all the time. That are going to be strong. For instance, the biotechs. I like this QDEL, and it's a little bit. Boy, I got to get rid of this Bluetooth keyboard. It's a little bit oversold here, so I'm looking for a balance. If we get down to the 153s, I mean, big break of the channel line here. I'm not comfortable shorting this. I probably should have once we broke this channel line. That's a big move from 180 into the 150s. But you can see how fast these things come apart. I think we're going to get down into this little area here around 153. So we had a close on that date at 153.48, and then the close was 158 before the big gap. So I think we get down in this area. We could break down into this nice consolidation area eventually, 140, which would align with the 50-day moving average. But I think given that we've already had 3 pretty strong red candle days, I think that somewhere today in the 153, 154 area, if we pull back there, you might get a bounce. 157 could bounce right here because, like I said, we're oversold, and we might put an inside day in once the market opens up in this candle. But I'd feel a little more comfortable maybe buying some type of a bounce around 153, 154 if it gets there. We'll have to see what happens with that. Norwegian Cruise Lines, a lot of these are still strong. I think they're getting a little bit overdone to the upside. 1780, I mean, we're pushing through the 50. Obviously, we're above the 50 now, but still vulnerable inside this little channel, I'd say. I wouldn't chase these too much here. They're definitely seeing some rotational love, especially above 1660. So it's the highest close since, back in March, which is pretty impressive, right? Anything above anything above 17 is the highest close that we've had in a while, which is good. Nice long area of consolidation before a push higher. Very news sensitive though, and they've had a big move from the bottom. They're up 50% from the bottom, or 50% from just a few days ago. 12, half 6, 18. Yeah, we had a 50% move from just like 5 trading days ago, so I would be chasing those. Eventually, we're going to look at the LABU too, because the bios have been super strong. There goes the keyboard again. And now they're pulling back, so you might have a little bit more wiggle room in LABD to the upside, and then LABU. It might bounce off to 20, but that's a pretty substantial bearish engulfing. Maybe we just give these a little bit more room. Somewhere in the 43, 44s. Could be a little early again today on these. They might come on a little bit more. But I wouldn't expect a big sell-off in tech here just because we're getting some rotation. And keep an eye on some of the real estate stuff. That's been pretty strong. The financials have been strong. XLF. Stocks like these FAS has come back alive again. 3 times leveraged. I don't know, that must be sitting out there from a while ago. But 3 times leveraged, why would I put a buy in above? When I have these little stock trades that we do, they're little probes, you want to just kind of probe something. And if it doesn't go your way, well, that's fine. If you like XLF long and you're afraid of chasing, do a probe. Put in 50 shares, put in something small. And if you're right, then you get that, you can take that lunch money, that $50, that $100. But if it pulls back and you're down, now you have a better chance to get in something that you think is going higher with a larger position. So that's the reason I probe 50 shares here, 100 shares here, because I don't like chasing momentum, but the momentum can continue. I just need smaller lot sizes to keep the emotion out of it. If they pull back, if FAS were to pull back a point and I'm down a whopping $50, at least now I have a chance to get in a larger position with a stop intraday. So a lot of people say, what's probing? That's what probing is. Very small positions to kind of see how things are shaping up shop. We shorted yesterday and got scared. Covered it much higher than where it is now, 30 points higher. But once again, if this gets down to this trend line channel that we're looking at, 713, 714, I know it's 40 points from here, but look how fast these things move to the downside. We talked about musical chairs. These things can come apart pretty quick. We're breaking the 20. I don't know. At least we're right there. This could have an inside day too. This thing's been strong. But maybe one more day. Always go in threes, Second day is a little bit early. I'm sure it's going to be volatile today. You'll probably get a move from 760 to maybe 780, something like that. But we feel more comfortable on the third day of a red candle to start to look for some type of a rebound. So keep those in mind. Nothing that I'm trading is jumping out at me right now. I do like ticker symbols PRIM. We talked about NEIL. TVIX will be a play off the bottom. STWD, Starwood, CMLS, and then USLV could rebound before the JNUGs and stuff like that. So keep those in mind. Silver's a little bit of a tie to industrial production. So that's it for now. Check in later.